Hi guys, Eric Pavey here at PickDogs.com. I am back with Big Al McMordie. Obviously, you saw we missed both my video and Al's video yesterday as I was traveling from the West Coast back to the East Coast. It is 10:11 Eastern Standard Time, and I got a problem, Al. I have more energy than I would have at 10 in the morning, and I'm going to have to force myself to go to sleep. I know that you're from Pittsburgh originally, but you've not lived the life I've lived of 30 years of this, going to the West Coast to Vegas for a week, coming back and just being amped up at 1, 2 in the morning.
I mean, I've never been one of those persons who've been impacted by jet lag one way or the other. I mean, I can fly from, Washington, D.C. to Hong Kong or fly to L.A. to
I'm the worst.
New York. It doesn't matter.
It only affects me when I come back. So, I got off the plane yesterday at 2 a.m. and I was listening to music till 6 in the morning. I just couldn't go to sleep. But I want to talk about something before we get to your complimentary selection. I went onto the Pick Dogs website today and did all of 2025. But just for clients that want to understand the volume we're talking about, 358 and 268 before today's game, 57.2% in college basketball, 104 and 86 in the NBA. When you wrap that together, a college basketball player betting a dime on every game made $63,200, and in the NBA, $9,400 plus $53,800 since January 1st. Flat betting every game, you're up 53.8 units for the entire year from January 1st to March 23rd. Why is that relevant to somebody asking, why should I pick up the All Access? Last week, as our good friend Brett the bookkeeper, you were up 50.7 units with the overlaid ratings and the additional late updates last week. So you almost did the entire flat betting since January 1st last week. So what are the exact records if you followed everything on a unit strategy basis and you were betting like Brett since January 1st? You're up $182,150. So that's 182.125 units. And $235,950. So think about that, guys. There was a $182,000 differential or unit differential on the same games. So the moral of the story is if you're heading over to pickdogs.com and you're buying Al's plays, you are rocking and rolling. You are up 53.8, call it 54 units. If you're an All Access member, you're up 235 units, and that's an extra 182 units, albeit you got to handle the volatility because obviously to win more units, Al, you got to be willing to risk losing more units versus the client that's betting every game the same and having more of a smoother equity curve where the highs and the lows aren't as great. So I just wanted to put that out there for all the clients that keep asking me, where would I stand? Plus 235 units versus 53 units. It's winning versus winning. It's not winning versus losing. It's more of a matter of your appetite for risk and can you handle that risk, especially when you have the days where not everything is hunky-dory like earlier with our little Laker loss.
Yeah, we had a 2-star play on the Lakers.
Hey, it is what it is.
Good. God.
Be careful. You don't want to be like Stephen Smith. He'll come, the LeBron will come after you. But with that being said, it was a great weekend, man. You absolutely, round one of the NCAA tournament was amazing. Even though we didn't cover Maryland yesterday, I will tell you before you get to your complimentary selection, as you know, all games are available free on Southwest on the Wi-Fi service. So we're on a flight flying back to Maryland, and everybody simultaneously with the last shot goes, yay, on the plane. It was pretty wild.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy, I've got a lot of family, around College Park there. So, yeah, I'm happy for Maryland, happy for the Big Ten. It was a great game. Just wish they could have won by 9 instead of 1.
My son's already being the anti-fan. Well, they're not going to get past Florida. I said, let the game be played. Every game has to be played. It's easy to say that before the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll probably handicap the stuff tomorrow and get the games out. I haven't even looked at it yet.
So
I
I know you
just
went to Michigan, but you're not a diehard Michigan fan.
no.
There you go.
No, Mitch. I don't think Mitch ever would believe me. He always used to like give me a jab when Michigan would lose, whatever. I'd be like, I'm a Spurs fan.
There you go.
I root for Michigan, but it's not the same. It's not the same.
Well, like I said, it was a great weekend. Like I said, yeah, look, you made 50 units last week. You sure you would have liked to wait? And again, that's a perfect example. We had a little small losing day yesterday. Oh, well, you still made 50 units for the week. It was a great week.
Yeah, well, you did something, or maybe it was Costi on Telegram. You put up a message
That was
about
That was Costi, and I told him not to do that. He did it anyway. Right.
yeah, it was after that Saturday, I think,
Right.
and he was like celebrating and doing cartwheels on Main Street, and I just said, I think I said something to the effect of, "I'm not a day by day guy. I'm a year by year guy."
So here's a funny story. Costi, and he discloses on his live show. Costi, I've never seen such a run. He's playing $500 3-team and 4-team parlays. He's taking your plays and he's picking out the one, the higher rated unit plays. And like, so Saturday you were on a run. He wins like 6,800 on the first parlay, 7,200 on the second parlay, 3,500 on the third parlay. Wait, it gets better. So I'm with Micah. And I'm like, man, you're up like 20,000. Jay Briggs is with us. Ruffalo. We took Ruffalo to dinner. Gosh, he's got all these comps because he's betting so much, right? They're giving us free meals, the whole 9 yards. We had like a $1,500 credit. Take everybody to dinner. So I said to him, all right, be serious. How much are you up? And he goes, like 1,100. I said, what? I don't understand. You cashed all these parlays. He goes, yeah, but I didn't tell you about my slot machine play. That's how they get you in Vegas. You win on the left hand, you lose on the right hand.
Oh boy, what are you gonna do?
Exactly. So with that being said, we get on the plane and he goes crazy and does all these parlays and he says, I'm going all in on Baylor because Al's got it. So as we're driving to the airport, he gets a text message from the Aria. The Phantom, I'll send it to you. The Phantom is waiting to pick you up to take you to the airport because it's like crazy. They pick him up in a Phantom Rolls Royce and then they bring, not me, him, because he's a slot maniac. They give you all these comps. So he says he gets into the Phantom. By the time he opens the door, the guy goes, did you see Duke blew out Baylor? He checks his phone. Every parlay's dead. So anyway, it was a fun trip in Vegas. I'm so glad that you were able to come and hang out with us and take advantage of it was very heartwarming, the Mitch's celebration of life. I hope if he's looking down, he enjoyed that we're all having a good time in his memory and in his name. And with that being said, I know you got a complimentary selection plus anything else you want to add to that.
Yeah, I guess the San Antonio Spurs, they're not dead yet. They're not going to make the playoffs, but they're still playing hard. They lost their two best players. Wembanyama went out, and then De'Aaron Fox is out for the season, but they just blew out Toronto by 34 points, 123 to 89.
Yeah, I saw that in Vegas. Yeah.
Yeah, so now they're, on the road, they're catching a lot of points, and we're going to take them as a big road underdog. When you take a look at how road underdogs of 8 or more do off wins of 30 or more points, they do quite well. And currently the line is 8 at Detroit. I don't know where it's going to be on, tomorrow, but we're looking at the, the overnight outlaw line or whatever. So those teams, some momentum. Road dogs off 30-point wins, they cover 61%. We're going to take San Antonio plus the 8 at Detroit.
There you go, guys. Spurs plus the 8 at Detroit is your complimentary selection. We're going to still run that offer through March Madness. If you're a new member and you want to, when I say new member and you haven't tried the all access coming off that 50-unit week. By the way, not only is it a 50-unit week, last week it was a 42-unit week the week before, 92 units in the last 2 weeks. By all means, send me a text message or an email to join 1,000 for 7 days. And like I said, we'll keep it rolling. As always, guys, good day and good luck.